I hereby call this meeting to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1974. I'm going to announce that the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of this act, the School District of the Chatham's Board of Ed has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Board Administrative Offices, sent to the clerks of both the Chatham Borough and Chatham Township, the Library of the Chathams, the Chatham Courier, the Daily Record, the Star Ledger, and the TAP. Roll call. Mr. Gilfillan. Ms. Ciccarelli.
Here.
Ms. Clark.
Here.
Mr. Del Sandro.
Here.
Ms. Kenny.
Here.
Mr. Ryan.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
And Ms. Weber.
Here.
7 are present and accounted for. If you could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, if able. The flag is right behind me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business, and I'd like, is to have the 4 candidates that were elected in November to take their oath of office. So I'd ask Ms. Ciccarelli, Mr. Del Sandro, Ms. Clark, and Mr. Kenny to please stand. To make matters a little more simple, you each have it rather than to repeat after me. If you want to go through the first grouping of sentence one at a time, and Anne, we'll start with you.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I, Anne Ciccarelli, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I, Michelle Clark, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established by the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I, Lotta Kenny, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I, Chris Del Sandro, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and this state, under the authority of the people, so help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you for your service to the board. We will now proceed.
Do we have to do the bottom,
You
Peter?
don't have to do the bottom piece?
We don't have to do the
Oh,
bottom.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, we have to
Sorry.
do the bottom. Yeah.
I, Anne Ciccarelli, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education. I'm not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
I, Michelle Clark, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law to the office of a member of the Board of Education. Am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I, Lotta Kenny, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of a member of a Board of Education, and am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I, Chris Del Sandro, do solemnly swear that I possess qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education. I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Now I'll say congratulations and thank you. All right. At this point, I'll take nominations for the position of Board President for the 2022 calendar year.
I nominate Jill Weber for president.
I second that nomination.
What'd I do to you guys?
Are there any other nominations?
Any at all? Anybody at all?
All right. Position of Board President, Ms. Weber has been nominated. Ms. Ciccarelli,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Del Sandro,
Yes.
Ms. Kenny,
Yes.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Ms. Weber.
Yes.
Congratulations, your reigning term of Board President continues. I will now pass the gavel back to you.
You can hang on to it. I've never really used it. Okay, bring it over. Thank you, everybody. Thank you again for your support and
Oh, no, thank you.
Thank you.
confidence in me. I appreciate that. In a late-breaking text, literally about 2 minutes ago, I would like to nominate Ann Ciccarelli as vice president. Matt isn't here, but he would have liked to have nominated you himself or seconded it, but he is not able to be here, so I nominate Ann Ciccarelli as vice president. Chris D'Alessandro is seconding it, although we just didn't hear his mic. Is that okay, Peter? Did you hear it? Enough? Any other additional nominations for vice president? Just because Matt's not here doesn't mean we can't nominate him, but he's the one that is nominating Ann if he was here. No others? Okay, Peter.
We'll do that one last. Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Del Sandro,
Yes.
Ms. Kenny,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes.
and Ms. Ciccarelli.
I guess so.
That motion passes 7-0.
Welcome aboard. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Peter, are we now moving on to the committees or onto the new board member?
No, the two organization meeting actions, V1 and V2.
Okay, so I make a motion to pass items V1 and V2, which are organization and standing committees.
Second?
Mike Ryan seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Duly noted, passes 7-0.
Excellent. Okay, very good. So now we're up to the open board position.
Yep.
Excellent. Michelle, do you mind moving this item since
No.
you're the board committee?
Sure. Just to give a little backdrop, and it's all listed here on the agenda, this committee, I'm just going to give a repeat of what was said at the December 13th meeting, we had 6 people express interest in after the resignation of Sal Arnick's position for 1 year that will expire in January of 2023. 4 people moved on to the formal interview process. All candidates were qualified with a wealth of different experiences and brought different talents to the table. It was a very difficult decision. Myself, Lada Kenny, Matt Gilfillan, and Bradley Smith all served on that committee as members of the township. After much debate and conversation, we moved ahead to recommend Susan, who is here tonight, who has a wealth of experience in finance. She's a small business owner in a neighboring town. She has demonstrated leadership and commitment to our community in various capacities through the Library of the Chathams and different schools within the school district. And we were really excited to have the engagement of so many people that were willing to come forward. Oftentimes, we can't get people to come to the table, and even in this current climate with challenges schools are facing, people came forward willingly. So we hope that that continues, and we're really excited to welcome Susan to the board with us tonight.
Excellent, very good. And just to add to that, we do this every time a vacancy occurs. This board operates on a committee process, so we had a nominating committee. And as everybody in the audience knows, we're made up of 2 municipalities. So the municipality that has the vacancy, the remaining board members make up that committee, and then they make a recommendation to the full board. Some districts choose to do it when they have a much smaller board. If it's a 5-member board and 1 or 2 people resign, then they just do it in a public session and they do the interviewing in public. We operate under a committee structure, so again, the vacancy in the municipality that has it, those are the members, the remaining members do the interviewing and then make a recommendation. I know Mr. Ryan's chaired the policy committee for quite a while now, and he's been through 2 vacancies, and he's inquired with our board attorney a couple of times, so I just wanted to pass it over to you, Mike, for any additional clarification.
So, since I've been on the board, we've gone through this 3 times. Once when Ms. Chambers left, and we appointed, and so he was subsequently reelected, Brad Smith, Chris Del Sandro, and now Ms. Ross. So when these occurred, as policy chair, I consulted with the board attorneys. The policy isn't as clear as it should be, and we are amending the policy to reflect the actual practice, right? For example, we don't do a roll call of votes for the people that were not selected. That's for a couple of different reasons. One is we probably have to get consent to do that from them, and as a privacy issue. And also, as Michelle said, we want to encourage people to run for these positions. And I think that if we said, you know, hey, if you're not selected, we're going to plaster your name all over the tap, right? So I don't think that's appropriate, and the attorneys don't think it's appropriate either. So they said that all we have to do is mention what the process is and go from there. However, the policy does say what it says. So we do have to change that, and I'll be changing that this year.
Okay, great.
So now I'll move the open seat to do our vote, and, right? We have to now.
Yeah, now we'll do a roll call vote. Now that the nominating committee has made their selection, the full board will do a vote on it. Peter, do we vote on it first and then the swearing in?
Technically, I need a motion and a second.
Yeah, I motion, Susan Ross to fill the vacancy.
So Michelle moved it, Bradley seconded it.
All those in favor of Ms. Ross being appointed to the board, Ms. Chigarelli,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Del Sandro,
Yes.
Ms. Kenny,
Yes.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Ms. Weber.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, welcome.
Thank you.
We'll do the oath. Sure. If you want to step up.
Guys, can you come up?
She just wants someone to
She need a mic?
Yeah,
It's like if her husband wants to be up here.
Well, I'm gonna.
just give her her own.
Okay.
You can just stand by your mom. We'll put her in the limelight, not me. If possible, raise your right hand while you're holding
Yep.
everything. Or maybe one of your assistants will help you.
Yeah, hold on, okay.
If you'd state your name,
I, Susan Roth,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments,
to the same
people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
If you'd state your name,
I, Susan Ross,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of a board member of education
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
and am not disqualified as a voter
and am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to
pursuant to
RS
RS
19
19
4-1,
4-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office
of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Excellent, thank you. Welcome aboard, Susan. We appreciate you stepping up and all the folks that threw their hat in the ring. We appreciate you volunteering. And I apologize in advance for dinners that you're going to miss with your lovely family. I apologize in advance for any snarky comments that come your way, but as I was telling Susan earlier, we have a very congenial board. We're all trying to row in the same direction. It's not to say we have a s'mores party every day and we don't always agree, but we absolutely always respect each other 100%. So welcome aboard and look forward to working with you. As you already know, you're being assigned to the Policy Committee and the Curriculum Committee, and also as the Chatham Education Foundation Liaison. So thank you very much. I do not have additional board comments other than to say Happy New Year and just to remind the presenters tonight that it is the National Championship football game. Just throwing that out there as a little hint. Mike, is Karen and Sean going to speak first and then you?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. We can do the presentation like we usually do, and then when we come back up on stage, I can give the rest of my report, which is an update on the schools. So in terms of the presentation, just so everyone understands, Start Strong is not something that has appeared on an agenda before. Typically, as we all know, we give statewide assessments in the spring to students in grades 3 through 11, and then as required by the Department of Education, we present the results of those assessments in the fall. Because New Jersey hasn't administered any statewide assessments in the previous 2 springs, duration for students back in the fall, and we administered that in late September, early October, depending on the school. And so the purpose of that assessment is to give us kind of a snapshot and additional data point about where students were as they were exiting the pandemic and back into what was supposed to be, we all hoped for, a normal school year. So Karen Chase and Sean Devine are with us tonight, as they have been in the past, to do these kinds of presentations, and they'll walk us through the results of this assessment, and then we can come back up on stage, like I said, and talk about other things.